Hey everybody, welcome back to the HallHShow. We are still at DesignerCon.
What's up, what's up?
We happen to see our good friend, Andy Lorenzana. He's also from South San Diego, where I come from. How you doing, Andy?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Good to see you, brother.
Sir.
How you finding the DesignerCon this year?
Awesome, as always. You know what I mean? Always a great place to come and just show your art and just a lot of cool stuff around here this year, you know?
I must say, that's a nice hat you're wearing.
Oh, likewise, my brother.
So, yeah, man, you've been working on this thing that you've been working on for the past few years.
Yeah.
It's something that's sort of part of our culture, being Filipino. Maybe you want to talk about it a little bit?
Oh, yeah, it's a little something. You know, I figured I'd do something that related to our roots and stuff. I've always wanted to do some sort of vinyl figure, vinyl toy to contribute to, you know, that industry of designer toys. So this is my contribution to it, you know what I mean? I kind of went in there as a child. You know, my dad would come home with just the traditional wooden barrel men of all sorts and sizes, all the souvenirs. And when we were kids, it was funny for us. My sisters and I, we would just giggle our asses off, lifting up these barrels and just seeing the little thing wiggle and whatnot. So I figured, like, you know, when I got older, you know, it just hit me. It kind of sat naturally for me to just go ahead and do something from my roots.
Yeah. So basically, you know, both Andy and my father, like our fathers, were in the Navy.
Yeah, that's Army.
Army.
My dad was in the Army.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Our fathers were in the military, and
that's
when they would go back home to the Philippines, they would bring back a lot of things. One thing would be these wooden barrel men that you know, these carpenters would sort of carve up at the side of the road, and they'd pick it up as little knickknacks and souvenirs and bring it back home. So, you know, if you go to a Filipino household here in the States, more often than not, you'll see the wooden knives and forks and spoons.
Exactly, yeah.
And you also see a wooden barrel man. Obviously, something happens when you lift at the barrel. You know? Right.
If you want me to demonstrate that,
you can demonstrate if you want.
All right, check it out. This is one of my top sellers that I did with 5 and a dime. This one is the Barrel Manny, and you know, I know you guys are pretty familiar with Manny Pacquiao. He's one of the most electrifying fighters in the boxing world.
Right.
So I figure it's my ode to him. You know, some fan art to him. So this is him right here. You know.
So basically, we're at Andy's booth, and he has a little display here that has Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, and you know, their own little barrel man customizations. So
yeah, you know, I'm just having fun with it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I just like to see people smile and kind of get a good laugh off of it. You know, and if I can accomplish that, then I accomplished what I needed to do with this.
Now, how long were you thinking about this? I think you, in our past talks, you talked about that you first got the idea, back in maybe the
2015.
Okay,
yeah, around that time. Yeah, I was just, you know, I'm a designer by trade, so I was able to learn the trade of talking with factories overseas, and was able to go back and forth. So with that knowledge, I was able to, you know, produce like a vinyl toy, and you know, it was pretty awesome at the time. I didn't even know, like, before I got into design, it was one of those things where it was like, yo, how do I do that? I'd come to DesignerCon and see all these dope exclusive things, all this dope product, and I'd wonder myself on, yo, how do they get those things made, and how do I get into this scene? This scene is so live and creative, you know what I mean? And I just got the know-how and was able to, you know, just pull it off, you know, and I'm here now speaking to you.
Now,
Hall-H.
It's good having you on the show, Andy.
I appreciate it.
Maybe we can go back in time a little bit. I'm interested in you sort of telling our audience and letting our audience know how you actually went from start to finish. Your first barrel man. Like, what were some of the problems you faced, and how were you able to overcome those problems?
Well, from start to finish, I mean, you know, the idea came, you know, earlier I told you, I mean, it was such a childhood thing that came about, and naturally I gravitated more towards doing something from my roots. And once I figured out what I wanted to do, I had to figure out how to, create the actual vinyl figure. And I started with sketches, and once I kind of nailed or locked in a certain sketch that I like, I got together with a sculptor.
Okay.
And the sculptor was able to actually manifest a sculpture for me and get it to my liking. Now, I had a lot of issues in the beginning as to how the barrel was going to stay up on the actual barrel man itself.
Right.
Because in the beginning, the barrel would slip all the way to the floor, to its feet. So I had to do the hole on the top. I had to make it a certain diameter so it would sit right at the shoulders. So it was the back and forth with the factory, like making sure that they got it right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was a painstaking process, meaning I had to go through like 1 or 2 prototypes to make sure that it sat right, and was able to give you that barrel man experience.
Right.
So yeah, and I was able to nail it, and they got it down right. These guys, this factory out in Hong Kong, and we were able to produce this little cool barrel man right now.
That's awesome. Now, you have a few over here. We gotta go over them a little bit. Obviously, we told the audience about the Manny Pacquiao and the Floyd Mayweather here.
Yeah.
And you have an Astro Boy.
Yeah, that's a work in progress. I did a Jason Voorhees one for the Friday the 13th that just had passed. I actually did a mummy one here. Little something, little surprises. I like putting up little surprises for my audience. Just little details that'll like catch people off guard. You know what I mean?
That Boba Fett one's pretty
sick. A little
sick.
Boba Fett one right here. This one is actually on sale at the DesignerCon this year.
Nice.
Iron Man, Tony Stark's secret suit. I'll get you. Oh, whoa. Sorry about that. His little photon blaster, just having fun with it,
And then this one right here has a little story attached to it.
Oh right? Yeah, this was I think the 275th anniversary of when Ferdinand or Magellan.
Yeah.
He kind of came into the islands of the Philippines and tried to convert the local Filipinos at the time into Catholicism, and at the time, Filipinos were just good as they were, and they didn't want nothing to change, and they didn't want stuff forced upon them. So this gentleman right here, Lapu Lapu, was not having it, and he stood his ground and was like, hey, we have our traditions and our rules here, so just don't come in here trying to think you can change stuff. So that was just an ode to that,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was like a short story that was created around.
There was. I did this with a Cuento Thesis, and he's such a dope artist. Shout out to you, Ron. You know what I mean? And he did a dope comic book story that's attached to this actual vinyl figure, and it was a great collaboration. It really brought out like the best in our creative juices there,
Basically, looking at what you have here, I'm thinking the way you sort of decide on what to make is pretty much what you're interested in, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because I noticed this one right here. I mean, our video audience will probably see it, but there's one here that's sort of looks like Tribe Called Quest.
ATCQ, yeah, one of my favorite bands. Rest in peace, Five Dog. It was one of those ones that I had to bust, and I saw just had a cool vision of wanting to do the traditional, Midnight Marauders character as onto the traditional barrel man. So I figured I'd do it, and it's just my ode to that great band.
That's pretty cool, man. I really dig it, and
thank you.
It seems like the people walking around here at the conventions are responding pretty well to it.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, I like I said, if I can get a good laugh off of it, a nice little smile, then I think it's done what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Hey, some sales wouldn't hurt either.
Of course.
So, you know.
So, what else? Like, what were you like as a kid? I'm kind of curious.
Oh man, you don't even want to know that. I guess, I mean, my sisters would call me mischievous, you know, at the time. But I mean, at the time, I mean, I figured I was, you know, one of those typical Filipino kids, just trying to fit in this American culture, you know, and just trying to do my thing out here. You know, I know we're the second generation in, and you know, I had to kind of make my mark here. You know, as a minority, it's tough, but in this day and age, it's getting better. You know, I'm hoping that it gets even better than this. But you know, as a child, you know, I dealt with all the stuff that first Filipinos deal with when first coming out. You know, I'm from a military family. My dad was a master sergeant in the U.S. Army, so you know, just stuff how Filipinos were able to migrate over to the U.S. You know, so as a child, I wasn't spoiled, but I was definitely, you know, just into a bunch of stuff, skating, hip hop, all that good stuff.
Were your parents supportive of your decision to go into the arts?
Not at first. You know, they're like, hey, what's up with nursing? And you know, what's up with engineering? Yeah. And I told them, I was like, you know, I mean, I could do that, but I probably wouldn't be 100% happy. So they're like, you know, okay, well, yeah, you know, go after what you feel, you know, that would complete you. And so I did that, and I thank them for their support. You know what I mean? After explaining to them, you know, that, you know, this is a land of opportunity. Anything can happen. You can't just, you know, pigeonhole yourself into just one idea of how to become successful out here in the U.S. I mean, you know, anything you do, if you're passionate about it, or if you love what you do, there's a strong chance you're going to be successful in it, you know?
You definitely have to go for it. You
know? No doubt. No, just like you guys.
Yeah, you can't worry about failure too much, right?
True indeed. I mean, that's a factor, but like, I mean, you know, you're gonna fail at some things in life, you know what I mean? The idea is just to keep trying, you know, just to get up, dust yourself off, and try your next idea, you know? Who knows? You know, the next idea could be the one.
It could be. I mean, you just got to give it a shot. You know?
That's it, Aaron, you know?
I was talking to somebody earlier, and we were talking about how, you know, if you wait for that perfect moment, you probably won't, that moment probably won't ever come, and you'll just be full of regrets later on in life.
Yeah, that's 100% right, you know? I mean, I feel that you have to kind of create that for yourself. You know, and you know, because it's, I mean, if you're waiting, it might come, you know, but I mean, what's to tell you just to not get up off of the couch and just pursue your dreams? If you have a vision, just to go after it, you know what I mean, and try it. You know, if you fail, you know, back to the drawing board. Just keep trying, you know.
So obviously, you're a big Tribe Called Quest fan.
Yes, yes, indeed.
I mean, what kind of music do you listen to when you're when you're creating?
Oh man, I have I mean, I used to do work for like record labels and as far as freelance and just a bunch of different stuff. So I mean, everything from like Motown, soul, you know, hip hop, jazz, anything that's coming through the speakers that you know, is real inspiring. As long as it's not there's some garbage out there, and I won't name any of that stuff, but like, yeah, for the most part, like a lot of the old school stuff that, you know, all of the classic joints that
you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and keep you inspired and keep you burning that midnight oil at times, you know, especially if you're up at night doing it. Especially if you have a 9 to 5 in the daytime, you gotta,
that's right,
you know, have some music playing in the background.
So how do you find balance between your 9 to 5 and your artistic pursuits?
Man, I just stay motivated. My 9 to 5 is pretty creative too, but I mean, it's not 100% me. It's a job, so I got to do it. But I mean, at the same time, I'm still thinking of ideas on how to bust a different type of barrel man, or just ideas on things to add to the line. You know, I got some other stuff that's in the works coming pretty soon here. Hint, hint. Mythical creatures from the Philippines.
Nice.
That's a big hint. So that's coming in the near future, and hopefully it'll come together real nicely, and I have some more stuff to talk to you guys about. You
nice.
know.
I think, well, it's funny you bring up mythical creatures from the Philippines. I remember there was an animated version of Wolverine, like a Japanese anime one.
Is that right?
Yeah, and then they had the Filipino vampires in there.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you should look it up.
Dude, I gotta check that out. Yeah, man.
For our audience out there, where can people find you online?
Well, you guys can come to my online store at www.watermoonstudios.com. Show some love, show some support, and end up with some cool stuff. You know what I mean? Some stuff that you can't get at Walmart or Amazon. You know, support your local artists. You know.
Speaking about artists, I guess my last question to you will be, why should someone come to DesignerCon?
Oh, man. If you're not at DesignerCon right now, you are missing out on the biggest event that it just has exclusive just releases that you can't find anywhere. You can't even find some of this stuff at Comic-Con. So if you ever get a chance to, come out to DesignerCon. I mean, trust me. You'll find that was like a great move, and you'll probably come out with a handful of like interesting stuff. You know, believe me.
For sure.
I've been coming here for like 5-6 years.
It's definitely one of our favorite cons, and we enjoy coming here.
Oh yeah.
And to see artists like yourself.
Oh man, hey, and we appreciate you guys coming out here, man.
Thanks, bro. It's good
no,
having you on the show.
No problem. Thank you.
We'll
Thank you for coming through. Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll do some big things.
Cool. Peace, cheers. Talk to you later.
Peace.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Damn.